Since the very beginning, when Jeeps and trucks became a thing within our mobile electronics industry, I don't think it's arguable to say that Alpine has certainly led the way in this category. Today, we've got product expert Eric Brooks in the studio with us, and we're going to break it down exactly why Alpine continues to be the innovator and leader for Jeeps and trucks. This is CMA Networks presented by SiriusXM, all about Alpine, and it starts now. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another CMA Networks presentation brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and as promised, we are diving into the Jeeps and trucks category, and we've got a big one with us today, Alpine. Now, like I said, we've got Eric Brooks in the studio with us. Eric, a quick overview of what dealers can expect to learn on today's session.
Hey, Ben. Yeah, it's great to be with you, and I'm looking forward to sharing with the dealers all the excitement that Alpine has to bring in the Jeep community, right? And what we offer for Jeeps to help enhance their business and give the best products available to their customers.
Glad to have you with us, Eric. We're going to dive right in. But before that, a quick message from our sponsor, SiriusXM, reminding you why dealers absolutely love it. And when we come back, Jeep audio with Alpine. Don't you dare go away.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability.
People love it.
All right, let's get right into it. Now, Alpine, as I had mentioned, I made a big claim in the beginning of the show that it has been, since the beginning, that Alpine has been an innovator within this category. Eric, I want to give you every opportunity to explain to the dealers tuning in why Alpine is so committed to this category and why it continues to push the envelope for Jeep enthusiasts everywhere.
Yeah, Ben. So, Alpine makes a lot of the factory systems for Jeep, and we see the opportunity there and the benefit of better audio in these vehicles. So we take what we've learned in the OEM side, we bring it to the aftermarket side, and really give additional features and sound capabilities for the customers that are available through the dealers. So it's really a great opportunity for better sound, for better performance, all of that offered by Alpine.
Well, let's get into some product because that's what people are tuning in for. And I think a great place to start, Eric, is with one of the most popular platforms out there. I mean, the enthusiasts have spoken. JK is obviously something that a lot of people love and are very passionate about. So what are the unique offerings when it comes to application-specific source unit solutions provided by Alpine for JK platform?
Yeah, Ben, great question. So Alpine has two solutions available for the JK, right? If it's a 2012 and up to 2018, we have two source units. We have a 7-inch model, that's the 407, and then we have a 9-inch weatherized model, that's the 509, right? And we add additional features over the factory units with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. These are pre-tuned for the vehicle. They come with all the wiring harnesses, the Maestro connectivity, all of that in the box. And in the case of the 9-inch piece, like I said, it's weatherized, has wireless CarPlay. It has all these sound tuning features to make your system sound great. And it's got a huge screen that looks like it belongs in the dash. Both of our units for the JK have very special installation kits that really make them fit and look premium in the dash.
Yeah, and you can see from those images, I mean, the fit and finish of these kits is second to none. The tooling and the R&D that went into coming up with this final product really impresses customers, especially the first time they see it. Not only is it impressive when you see it on a soundboard, but when you see it installed in the vehicle, I don't think there's any question the fit and finish is just out of this world. Now, we talked about JK, but we got to show some love to our JL platform owners. What kits are available also for the JL platform, Eric?
Yeah, Ben. So we have a couple of solutions available for the JL platform as well as the JT, the Gladiator. So both of these vehicles, we have two solutions. We have a 7-inch double DIN solution that's very easy, plug and play, Maestro harnessing, all done, very easy install, right? So that is for the 7-inch, which is our 407 platform, and then we have a 9-inch weatherized version on our 509 platform that gives us weatherization. It gives us wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. It has a beautiful bezel that really looks like it belongs in a Jeep. So keep in mind, these products are developed for Jeep by the people that make a lot of Jeep products. So that's really what makes them special. We know the vehicles they're going in, so we can really do our best job of making them look and sound great for these specific vehicles.
And just for the record, there are many different options between, standard radio source units and different, kits and plates that you can order. But I think what Alpine brings to the table is such a bespoke solution specifically engineered for these applications, which really sets them apart. Now, beyond the source unit, Alpine has taken yet another leap forward and have created bundles, sound system packages that are literally plug and play and fit and replace the factory location speakers. I'm going to let Eric talk to you a little bit more about that, on how complete these amazing plug and play sound system bundles actually are.
Hey, Ben, yeah, when we talk about our plug and play sound systems for Jeeps, we're talking about a highly engineered sound system that includes all of the wiring. You don't need to cut anything in these vehicles. There's T harnesses available. So whether you're doing a factory head unit tying into this system or an aftermarket head unit tying into this system, you can do that with no issue. I actually have one of the speakers here that go into this. These things are made for the enclosures in the JK. They're tuned for those enclosures. They have the Chrysler, the fitment, right? So they screw right in. They have Jeep plugs on them, so you don't have to cut any wiring. The tweeters, no matter what application you have, whether it's the Tombstone tweeter that sits up front high on the dash or the plate, it comes with all of those things. So these things fit no matter whatever Jeep you have, JK, JL, JT, these things will fit. And for the systems, right? So the JK system, we have 6.5 components for the front, 6.5 components for the rear, and then a 10-inch sub that goes underneath the seat. You lose no space in your trunk. This thing absolutely slams. It sounds great, a lot of volume. And because it's fired down into the footwell, it doesn't matter if your top is on or off. You get great bass no matter what. We have our tough power pack amps that are in this system. We have two of these. This is the 4-channel here. These are weather resistant amplifiers, right? They come on a bracket that goes and mounts into the factory amplifier location in the Jeep, right? So it's very easy to install these. You set up your gains accordingly, which is all listed in the manual, right? We tell you how to set everything up, and then you're ready to go. You don't have to cut any wires. You just pull them through the proper areas, plug them in, and you're done. It is an awesome solution. So that's for the JK. We've also developed for the JL full system solutions, right? So we have a basic upgrade, which gives us tweeters for the dash, a 4-channel amplifier to run all of the factory speakers and those new tweeters. And we have a 8-inch powered sub that goes underneath the passenger seat, all on a bracket. Everything's already mounted. You pull up the seat, you bolt this thing down, you run your wires, and you're done. You're not cutting anything. You're not stripping anything back. You're just plugging and playing, right? And then we have the full system upgrade for the JL and the JT, which replaces all of the speakers. So we have these 6.5 components in the front. So we replace those 4-inch factory speakers. We have new enclosures that go in there. So we have 6.5s in the front. We have these beautiful soundbar speakers, right, that use the same speaker elements, but have this whole cosmetic that really ties into the Jeep cosmetic styling. So we have those for the soundbar. We have that 8-inch powered sub under the seat on all the bracketry with a 4-channel amp. And again, all the wiring you need. So it has T harnesses. So if you're using the factory radio into this, if you're using one of our restyle systems into this, it'll work great no matter what. So they're really great options, and they're designed to sound incredible in these Jeeps. Now, Jeep speaker locations, they have kind of small airspace, right? So these speakers are really engineered and developed to sound great in those small spaces and give you great mid bass and great overall sound. So that's kind of just a little bit about those systems.
I have to say, quite impressed, because all I hear here is the using the knowledge that Alpine has through the OEM support, and then taking the know-how that Alpine has and optimizing the space, the locations, and the gear to really give customers an optimum system. That's really what it's all about. And I think this does two things for dealers. Number one, it's all plug and play. T-harnesses. God, I love T-harnesses. Who doesn't? And from a dealer perspective, you can use, call on your junior tech to maybe install these things. There's no wires that you need to worry about. Alpine has figured it all out. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper, Eric. Can you help break out the individual components that make up the system to give our dealers a little bit more details as far as the specs?
Sure, Ben. Yeah, let's go into some detail here. So again, all of these speakers are developed for the application in the Jeep. Jeep has very small air spaces. There's not a lot of, spot to put stuff in a Jeep. They tend to get wet. If you have your top off, you get caught with the rain and your top's off, stuff's going to get wet. It happens. You can roll around with your doors off. So you want to make sure this thing can stand up to the elements, right? So that's why everything is weatherized. So let's talk a little bit about the speakers, right? So I do have the speaker sitting here, and I did talk about how it has the Chrysler mounting holes for the Jeep, and it has the Jeep specific plugs, which are great. So all of that is easy for plug and play use. But again, these things are tuned specifically for those small locations. Those sound bars and those under dash speaker pods don't offer a lot of airspace. So these come with a sheet of Dacron that you stuff in there, and then you mount these in and you're good to go. Now, what's also really cool about these is the fact that they are weather resistant, right? So if they get wet, if you have your top off and these things get wet, it's not going to be an issue, right? They have this material that is weatherized, so it can handle those elements and give us great sound. These have great mid bass, they have great output, right? And they really are a special speaker. And they don't come from our S or our R line. They are developed specifically for Jeep. So we created an entire line specifically for Jeep speakers. So this comes with a tweeter, which is also weather resistant. It comes with all the bracketry. So no matter what installation you have, if it's the flat mount tweeter, if it's the tombstone tweeter, or if you have a coax, you have an older Jeep with a coax in the back, there's an actual bridge that comes with this. So it can mount like that. So that's a little bit about the speakers, and they really are awesome. So that's the speakers. Then we have some very cool amplifiers for this. So again, this is our Tough Power Pack. We came out with these a few years ago. This is weather resistant, right? So it can get wet. It has a waterproof plug, right? So that's actually IPX67 rated, the plug is. So this thing is rated to be used in a Jeep, right? So it goes on a factory bracket when you use it with our system in the JK, but it has a very special technology. These amplifiers have something that's called DPP, dynamic peak power. And what that does is it gives us double the power output in burst, right? So this 4-channel right here, it's a 75 watt by 4. But in peaks of music, this thing can deliver double the power out, which is awesome, especially in a Jeep when it's noisy. If you got big tires on the thing or your roof's off, you need some extra music coming through. This can deliver it. So a very powerful amplifier and a very small chassis here. We also have a 300 watt mono amplifier. It's the same exact size. They look identical, right? And it also has DPP. So this amplifier, this 300 watt mono, can actually deliver a true 600 watts of output in bursts, which is amazing. And it actually samples this, I think it's like 20,000 times a second, right? So it's really putting out a lot of power without clipping at that double the power rating. So very, very awesome amplifiers for the solution. We also have this underseat sub for the JK, which is very special. It's a downfiring, weather-resistant sub. So this thing can get wet. If you go on a trail and you end up having water on your floorboards, it's not going to be an issue with the subwoofer, right? So this thing loads into the passenger footwell. So whether your top is on or off, you have great bass no matter what. So it's awesome. Even if the doors are off, you're going to have great bass in this thing. So that's a little bit about the JK. Now, what's cool about the JL is all the speaker elements are the same, right? We developed these speakers. We have new enclosures for the front of a JL. So these components go on the front. These same components, the 6.5 right here in that tweeter, fit in what's called our SPV 65 JLT. That's our soundbar speaker for the JL and the JT. It has a beautiful cosmetic that matches our head unit cosmetic, that bezel that goes around the head unit. It looks absolutely beautiful, and it looks like it's made for a Jeep, because it is, right? So we have those speaker elements that are very special. We have the 8-inch powered sub that goes under the seat. So again, you're losing no space in your trunk. We have our very popular KTP 445 amplifier, which is a 45 watt by 4, running all the speakers, that powered 8-inch for our bass, all pre-mounted on a bracket, ready to go in the vehicle. So you get great sound, top on or off, in your JK, your JL, and your JT. We have a solution for you, and it's really a great way to service this Jeep community and give them better sound without losing any space in their vehicle.
Eric, thanks so much for breaking down all those individual components that are so optimized and designed specifically for the Jeep environment. But we are in Jeeps and trucks. I want to show our truck viewers a little bit of love, because I know that Alpine's got some really cool solutions that may fit in Jeep, but also would do really well in trucks. Let's start with enclosure solutions.
Yeah, Ben. So we have some solutions that work great in Jeeps and great in trucks. So let me talk about those. So first up, we have our Halo truck enclosure, right? So this thing is very unique. It's two 8-inch drivers that are ported. There are two individual boxes, right, that are highly engineered. These ports wind their way around inside this box, and they are 32-inch ports. So there's a lot of engineering just to get that port to fit within that enclosure, right? So there's that. These things are tuned to 36 hertz, so they play great deep low bass, right? And these two individual enclosures mount together on a rail system. So these things are expandable from 40 inches in width out to 51 inches in width. So these things can shrink in small enough to fit behind between the wheel wells of a Jeep Wrangler, or underneath the seat of a Jeep Gladiator, or they can be expanded out and fit into a full-size truck under the seat, right? And as you expand this thing out, you can add an integrated amp rack to it, so you have a great spot to put your amp. So that's our truck enclosure, our Halo truck enclosure. It comes in R series as well as S series, right? So if you're looking for different budgets or different power handling solutions, we have that. We have it for S and for R. So that's our truck enclosure. Then we have our new R series shallow enclosures, which are incredible. So these are very slim woofers, right? They come in a preloaded enclosure that is actually very, very unique. The magnet actually fits through the back of the enclosure, right? So you add increased shallowness in the enclosure because that magnet actually sticks through. So when you look at this, the grill actually sits flush with the front of the box, right? You can take your feet, put them on the front, on the back. You can stand straight up or down, whatever you want to do for your application, it will fit. Now, I do have one of the subs here, so I can show you how unique this thing is. So this is a 3.5-inch deep sub. It has a 4-inch voice coil. This thing is absolutely massive. It's an aluminum cone, so you want to be careful with that. Make sure you, if you're doing this in a raw driver, you put a grill on it. But in our enclosures, it comes with a grill, right? So that's this unit. You can actually see this dot here. This was in our Clipple machine at the office being tested for excursion. This thing has up to 20 millimeters of excursion. So this thing moves as much as a standard R series woofer, right? So even in our preloaded enclosure, it gives you tons of output. This right here, you can kind of see this flange here. This is a gasket. This is where this magnet actually protrudes and sits flush with the back of the enclosure. Gives us a couple of things. Gives us cooling for the magnet and for that voice coil. All that motor structure gets to cool through that, but it also adds the framing of the woofer as bracing for the enclosure, right? Because we're bolting it on the front, we're bolting it on the back, so it adds internal bracing for those enclosures. So these things give great outputs. We have them for 10s and 12s. They fit right under the seat of a full-size truck. They'll also fit in the trunk of a Jeep and absolutely pound. I have one in my JL, and this thing hammers. It's unbelievable. So that's some of the sub solutions for both trucks and for Jeeps.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind, Eric, what we've done here today is certainly walk through the catalog, which Alpine has done so well by creating products specific to Jeep platform and a little bit of truck accessories when it comes to subwoofers at the end. At the end of the day, Eric, tell us again, if you're a dealer and you've got customers who are Jeep enthusiasts and they're coming to you for solutions of improving their sound, why is it so important that these dealers become Alpine dealers?
So, Ben, I've had the opportunity to sell Alpine at many levels through the years, right? I've been a retailer, I've been a rep, I've been now the national trainer for Alpine. And I've got to tell you, when it comes to support for the dealer, when it comes to overall innovation within different categories, specifically for Jeep, the way that Alpine really gets into the Jeep lifestyle. I mean, we do Jeep lifestyle events all around the country in the US, right? We go and we meet with customers. We see what kind of features they want. And we use that as a platform in developing products, right? So we really want to make sure that we're servicing this Jeep consumer and that we're offering them products that they want for their vehicle. Right. So as a dealer, I see that as a benefit, right? I have a vendor, a brand that is paying attention to the market and really wants to offer me products so that I can grow my business with this consumer base specifically. So I think that's really important to remember. And I hope dealers see that as an opportunity to really find a great partner in Alpine.
And that was Alpine's Eric Brooks schooling us on all things Jeep and truck related when it comes to the offering currently at Alpine. Now, if you're interested at all in any of these great products that we've been covering today, make sure you hit up their website. It's alpine-usa.com. Really nice website, shows you the breakdown, the details, the specs of everything that we covered today. Now, if you happen to be a dealer in Canada tuning in, well, you need to know that their official and exclusive Canadian distributor is in fact Gentech International, and you can reach them at gentech-intl.com. And on that note, I reached out to Mr. Gord Brown over at Gentech. We have him in the studio with us because, Gord, we need a Canadian perspective. So, Gord, based on today's presentation, what are some of the standout products, in your opinion, that dealers should really be paying attention to?
Hey, Ben, thanks for bringing us in. Honestly, the packages that are available from Alpine are fantastic, and especially the ones that they've created for the Jeeps. Whether it's a Wrangler, JK, JL, JTs, the fact that they've made them so easy to install, it's really great for our guys. Really, I think that the best ones to start with, especially if you're really just getting started in building these out for your customers, is the in-dash packages. The fit and finish is so fantastic. It just is going to bring your customer back for more, knowing that they can trust the Alpine brand to bring that to you.
Now, Gord, you heard Eric's version of why it's so important for dealers who are thinking about taking this space seriously within Jeeps and trucks to have Alpine as a partner. But from a Canadian perspective, what does that mean? And why do you feel it's so important to partner up with Gentech and Alpine for the Canadian landscape?
Hey, Ben, great question. At the end of the day, Alpine's made a huge commitment to the restyle category overall, whether we're talking about things that came out for the F-150s and the Tacomas and whatnot. But as far as how they've done it for the Jeep category, it's incredible. There's about 16 different exclusive items, whether you're talking about the actual packages that go in the dash, the powered speaker packages that include the amplifiers, or you can really just kind of drill it down and go a la carte, whether you want to just add the tweeters onto your existing package. You can get the speaker bar for your existing package. You could really kind of go direct to whichever piece you really want to add. And that commitment has been really made across the board with this entire package that's been developed specifically for Jeeps. And remember, it's not just compatible, it's made for Jeeps. And that's what really makes these stand out.
Well, there you have it. That was Gord Brown speaking from Gentech International, the exclusive distributor for things Alpine in Canada. And I guess my sentiments towards this whole thing is I don't think it's arguable. I mean, this is a brand that has taken their know-how, taking their specialty relationship in an OEM fashion that they have the relationship with Chrysler and Jeep, and applied themselves into creating such unique application-specific products that at the end of the day, I feel that as a dealer, if you are aware and you are educated on all these great products and solutions that Alpine has, and you communicate that with your Jeep customer, there's no question in my mind that they would not only be enthusiastic about it, but also be partial to the fact that when customers see that it's a product that's made specifically for their vehicle, there's huge value in that. And I think that is the story of everything we've presented today. Thanks for tuning into this CMA Networks presentation brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.